Welcome to DC.
And here it comes. Swing and a miss. And a World Series Game 7 winning Curly W is in the books.
Dagger! It's 1974. The Washington Capitals are the 2018 Stanley Cup champions.
Don't like that. I like that.
You gotta like that, right?
Despite all this, despite the churn, my approval ratings keep going up.
We are ready to give our 500% support back to this franchise, back to this city, back to this team after Snyder leaves. And then this is the poo-poo you put on the field.
For the very first time, the Washington Mystics are WNBA champions.
The Washington Commanders select Jaden Daniels.
I'm going to support fake teams that can't ruin my life.
Did you call bank? I call game.
Thank you. Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business.
Oh my goodness. Another week, another show. Pete, thank you for making time. This is DTC episode 341, if I'm not mistaken. And I got to be honest. Last week there was a lot of talk about, maybe we had a little bit too much going on. Maybe summer was kind of just, I don't know. I got a comment that maybe there was a little bit of a lack of energy at the beginning of the show. And I hear the feedback. Okay. Thank you, everybody. But you didn't, I wish people could have been in the green room about 5 minutes ago when you joined in and I started screaming at you because you jinxed the Wizards. Okay.
I did no such thing.
You 100%, not less than 2 weeks ago, proclaimed that we would end up with pick number 6. And damn it, look what you did.
Listen, man, it's DC. DC defeat the curse. It is what it is.
Brand is the brand is the brand. Here we are yet again. 14% chance times 3 or whatever. However the math works, I'll leave it to the smart people to figure it out. How do we end up at 6? And honestly, I was gonna bury the Wizards talk, but maybe this is the place to start because it's just I'm so annoyed. I'm so angry with you.
It's pissing off more people in DC than the Caps. And oh man,
did you peruse? I want you to peruse Wizards Reddit.
It's not just Wizards Reddit. It is the entire
despair.
It's the entire NBA fan base.
You know what?
Up in arms with this.
You know what? We need like 10 good minutes on this. So let's come back to it. Let's start with the Caps because
oh man,
one of us was very realistic last week saying there's trouble. And 2 people were, no, they're going to do this and that. They're going to zig instead of zag and everything's going to be okay. The series is 3-1. We're on the brink of elimination.
When are we not on the brink of elimination?
Well, fair, but
mankind, DC Sports, all of it. It's just a blanket statement there.
And Andy was getting on me for jinxing the Caps at the end of the regular season because I said this exact thing was going to happen. Stumble into the postseason, sputter and do whatever in the first round, and then run into the actual literal hurricanes.
They are not a good. The Hurricanes are not a good team.
You can't.
They will go
up 3-1, and they pulled like attitude era smackdown jabroni stuff all over the Caps. It was like 7-1.
Don't scoreboard watch this game. They are the faster team. Yes, the Caps are playing terrible, but it has nothing to do with how they fumbled into the postseason. It has nothing to do with what they did against Montreal. What it has to do is you have the older core, and the team is just not putting the fastest guys on ice. All right. If you want to get into the nitty gritty of it, we did a line shuffle this morning.
Do you still believe Ted Lasso? Is this going to happen, Ted Lasso?
Yes. Where's my post-it note? Let me slap it. Yes, I believe, because our coach, your first in line for coach of the year this year, Carbs, is learning and watching film, right? There are corrections that have been made. And if you pay attention to the end of game 3, the chances are there. Just because the Carolina Hurricanes have a crappy rink or
what are you watching?
What are you watching? Listen.
They're down 3-1, and you're still selling. You're still selling that there's a chance. It's over.
It is very close to over. But as a hockey fan that is paying attention to the line changes this morning, gives me a lot of hope.
Yeah, you and Andy were just circle jerking it up about
Just
all
listen,
the line.
just
It's
listen.
going to be amazing, and we're going to goo over here, and let's goo over here, and this is it. This is okay. We're gonna rattle off.
I'll give you $100 right now if you can tell me what the line changes were.
It was like 50 of them. They're changing the whole thing. Okay. Does that
50 of them,
does that make me exude, like, do you exude confidence when you're down 3-1 and all of a sudden now you're making changes? No.
Yeah, no, you're not out of it till you're out of it. Okay. Every 1 seed in NBA and in NHL this year is struggling, right? Every 1 seed is struggling. The Winnipeg Jets, they're also down 3-1. Every 1 seed is struggling. Listen, you're not out of it until you're out of it. We have a coach that isn't going in there with his head in the sand and going to make us do the same thing that we've done over and over and over again. So we are making changes. Taking Eller out as your third line center is massive because now you're going to have real options on your third line. Your second line with Protas, PLD, and Wilson is massive. That is a monster line. That is a goon line. Old school goon phrase, not the new school goon phrase, which means something gross. But it is an active, strong, physical line. Ovi can still do what Ovi does, but you got to pull him off of power play because he is not fast enough to go against this Carolina team. No team in the NHL is fast enough to go against this NHL against the Carolinas. But the point is, if you watch this game closely, don't scoreboard watch, but you watch it closely, Carolina is doing one thing and only one thing. They're playing fast and reckless with their offensive hockey, and
they are out shooting. They are out slapping the Capitals.
Shooting means nothing. They are taking.
I know you were so excited. Was it ESPN or TNT? One of them went on and on.
Don't even look at the actual scores in the games.
Was it ESPN?
ESPN has no other stat to talk to me about except shots on goal, and that is weak hockey commentary.
And you pointed this out in the offline chat that the ESPN was jockeying like big time the what was it, shot attempts or whatever it was.
It means nothing to
and then TNT like opened the broadcast by talking about it was a useless stat.
Shot attempts mean nothing. If you're anybody, any
volume means something and fatigue means something.
Volume doesn't mean anything in hockey because you're blocking all of the shots because they're easily blocked, and LT's doing his damn job. And if you look at the real game time play, the real score, when you remove empty netter bullshit, you're giving up 1-2 goals a game. Like, you were doing your job and you're not.
All right. So
what the Capitals need to realize is, and this is their problem, is the speed is getting to them and they're rushing their gameplay. They are not a fast team. And when I say they are not a fast team, I don't mean skating speed. I don't mean how fast they can get up and down the ice. I mean fast teams in how they puck pass and how they handle their passing lanes and how they set up their offensive zone. They are rushing it because Carolina is faster in doing that when they get in the offensive zone. They need to realize that they don't have to rush it because 95% of the shot attempts by Carolina, they're garbage shot attempts. They're just launching it from the blue line at net, and it means nothing. So now when you change the line, when we've made the changes that we did this morning in practice, you are putting in a little bit more, not veteran presence, but like a calmer presence in that they're not going to speed the clock up in their mind. It's the same thing with like Jaden Daniels in the NFL. You can't speed up the clock in your mind, and it throws off the entire team. The team is not set up to be a fast team. And I don't mean skating speed. I mean,
do you expect
offensive plays?
Do you expect them to win tomorrow night?
I would not be surprised if they win.
Okay.
And the DC curse in me feels like if anything is gonna happen.
Are you hedge betting? Are you gonna do an emotional hedge bet on this one?
No. Because I know what's gonna happen. You're gonna win Game 5. You're probably gonna win Game 6 overtime. You're gonna bring it back to Game 7 in DC. The fan base is gonna believe. You're going to lose Game 7 again to the Hurricanes.
So you've got
again.
extended torture on the menu. Okay,
It's going to be 2019 all over again. You're going to get to Game 7. You're going to lose in overtime. It's exactly what happened to us last time.
Do you think if this game tomorrow night was being played in Carolina, they would have a better shot at winning it? And the reason I'm asking this
is you needed the break and you needed to come back to DC. It was a must.
Break
and
aside.
That's the
break
nice
aside.
thing about being the 1 seed.
Do you think do they feel more pressure playing at home? And this is larger than the Capitals. I think sometimes in a clinch situation, especially in a 3-1, I don't know why. There's something about that count across all sports. If you're at home with a 3-1 with a chance to clinch, I feel like usually it's immense pressure on the home squad. And some maybe
the home squad is 3-1.
That's what I'm saying. If this was in Carolina, I feel more confident the Caps go in there and win it.
No.
Okay.
You need home ice advantage in this game. You need your fan base. You need to not let.
And they have it, right?
Yeah.
This is going to be a situation where, my fear is that it's too much tinkering, and it's
no.
It's
this
too
is
much
the correct amount of tinkering. But also, you also have to look at the season as a whole, and this is kind of end of season talk, which I don't want to do quite yet. But if you told any hockey fan at the start in October, the Caps are going to be the 1 seed in the East, Ovi's going to break the record, and they're going to be deep into the second round playoffs, nobody believes you. This was a team that wasn't even supposed to make the playoffs this year, let alone get the 1 seed in the conference. Like nobody was supposed. This is
for sure
almost as equivalent to the Redskins making it as far as they made it. Nobody was expecting that. They're completely outperforming.
I don't know if I buy that completely though, because
outperforming.
No, I don't disagree with you on that, but I'm saying as the season progressed, and you got to look at this Capitals team, much like the way we got to look at the Commanders team. The Commanders' wins were fluky at times, right? The miracle in Maryland, like there was
but the Caps when the Caps are
business,
on,
they handled business basically all season long without Ovi for a month. Right. It's not like there was a sharp drop off, unfortunately, until the end. FP, and this was my point. Like of all the times not to cool off, the end of the season is not the time to do it.
I mean, like hockey's grueling. I don't think they cooled off. I think it's just that mental fortitude, like you're like exactly like I said was going to happen in Game 2 is what you're going to see probably tomorrow. Is that Wilson's going to come out, smack people in the mouth. That's why that line, that second line of Protas, Pierre-Luc Dubois, and Wilson, that's a monster line together, because that is a line that is going to bully the Hurricanes, and not having Eller as your third line center when you get that like half line change, when it's not a full change, and you have McMichael as your center, he will feed all the wings that are currently on ice, even if it's delayed second line or the third line joining him. You're going to see the shots, high value, good target shots on net in that transition. Just pay attention to the Wilson line and the line that comes in after him. You're going to see the shot attempts there, and it's going to be what we've needed this whole time, specifically against Carolina.
I hope for your sake and for Andy's that they win.
I have never felt more depressed after Monday's game. I didn't want to talk sports. I didn't want to do anything. And then you add the Wizards on top of it.
Tuesday.
I didn't watch any of the playoff games.
And this is I want to pivot into the Wizards here, because like what a miserable week for DC sports, right? I mean, and we'll talk. I want to talk about the Commander schedule too here in a second, but the Capitals being in the situation that they're in, and now on top of it, the Wizards. Like, let's talk about the Wizards first, and then about the mechanism and the problem with the mechanism. The Wizards had an equal share, 14% shot at getting the number 1 overall pick, the rebuild accelerator in Cooper Flag, and they end up at 6. It's not even like 2 or 3.
The worst pick they could have had,
6.
They got.
The last time the Wizards had pick number 6. Do you know who they drafted? Because I went back and looked.
Some white Eastern European guy.
Jan Vesley. who showed up with his smoke show girlfriend and made out with her on TV, and everybody's like, this guy's Michael Jordan of Europe. And of course, it never panned out. But the last time they had the number 1 overall pick, it was John Wall. And like it was a
And that feeds into the conspiracy theory.
well, and here we go, right? Like so what do they do at 6, right? I mean, and this is where it gets really interesting. If this is not going to happen. If Flag or if Harper fall to 6, they're the no-brainer. If Ace Bailey, of course not. If Bailey falls, maybe he's the pick. But otherwise, you're looking at Jeremiah Fears, a point guard, maybe, or Trey Johnson, maybe, or Khan, or Colin. Like we were so close. We were so close.
Honestly, can we trade
6
back? Can we trade back?
There's even less value back there. Like the only silver lining that I see in this entire situation is that you were able to last year. You didn't have the number 1, but you found the better player in Sar. You found Bub and you found Keyshawn, and you put this core in place, and you made some strategic moves. Like I know we say trust the process with the Commanders and that ownership group, and that's their trademark. The Wiz brass do deserve some credit here too. Like and at least an opportunity to move this forward productively.
But
right?
also they pissed me off with we came into the draft with no picks and we were gifted 6. That's the dumbest PR spin I've ever heard in my life.
Well, what do you expect
dumbest
them to say?
Spin ever?
Right? What do you expect them to say? Like they can't go out there and criticize the horrible mechanism that is the NBA draft system. And like I heard one just absolute invalid, R-word invalid, saying that the NFL should adopt a ping pong ball system.
No,
I was like, you clearly don't understand anything about anything. No. In fact, I think the NBA has to immediately resolve this. The idea and hat tip here to Varun, the beat reporter. Yeah, he's one of the beat reporters that covers the Wiz for the Post, for the Washington Post. He did this whole like behind the scenes thing, right? And he just openly said, like at one point we were all sitting in the room and the executives all went into a different room where all of their equipment was confiscated, like their phones and whatever. Mm-hmm. And that's where it happens. Why?
Right. Why hide it?
If you're gonna do this terrible shtick about percentages and whatever, like, are we too stupid to be able to process it and see it with you live? Like, you got to do it behind closed doors. I don't understand.
The conspiracy theories that came out of this, and this is NBA at large. There's two conspiracy theories. If you've been paying attention, there's the lose your star player, get a star player conspiracy theory, which year after year after year after year, including the Wizards after Arenas and Crittenton. And if you haven't watched that documentary,
we got to talk about it. I was going to bring it up in OMC.
But every time a franchise loses their guy, they get the rebuild guy, right? The next guy up. And it happens AD with the Pelicans, Luka with the Lakers, LeBron with Cleveland. Every time somebody leaves, that team gets the 1 pick. And that's one conspiracy theory, right? And everybody wants to chew on the backdoor deal that was like, hey, give Luka to the Lakers. They need a star. We need to keep the most valuable franchise watchable, and we'll reward you with flag. Okay, sure. That's that conspiracy. The other conspiracy theory is the one that I think is more realistic, and it's that they're trying to reward the non-tank teams, and they're trying to punish the tanking teams. And they're trying to say, like, if you tank, or if it's very obvious that you're tanking, there's going to be some backroom shenanigans. You're not going to get that pick. The problem is the Wizards weren't. The problem is the Wizards weren't trying.
The Wizards won the last game of the season. Bub won it on a buzzer beater.
That's what I'm saying. They weren't trying to tank, and yet somehow we get punished because we're so bad.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, the Wizards there's like bad teams, and then there's obscure, like, forever lost teams. And unfortunately, that's where the Wizards are now. Yes. And like, I guess it'll be interesting to see what this, like, could they trade for a piece? Maybe. Could the number 6 pick turn out to be one of the better players? Sure. I mean, we literally I'm the only, like I said, the silver lining here is we turned 3 picks that were mid and late round into 3 contributing players.
Yeah, I mean, you have a front office that knows what they're doing,
and they have additional draft picks, and they have room to sign players. Like they have room to be creative here, and they haven't drafted Jan Vesely or God Shamgod yet, right? To cause us to lose.
But I don't want like a Denny Avdia. I don't want like a.
Oh, don't crap on Denny. He was good.
I'm not going to crap on Denny, but like he's not team changing.
No. But this is where expectations have to be level set. 20 years ago, the number 6 pick, you're getting Antoine Jameson or Vince Carter or Rasheed
Quality
Wallace
of player was 1,000 times better.
Right. At 6 now, you're getting. I mean, it's not that long ago we drafted that kid out of Ohio State who played 2 games and is now out of the league completely. I'm blanking on his name. The kid from Ohio State, Johnny Davis.
Right.
So, I mean, they have work to do, but I tend to lean towards the first conspiracy theory. Nico and that trade was so universally ridiculed and just
questioned. It made no sense.
Made no sense. How do you go from having like the 7th best odds to winning the whole thing? And frankly, that's a pretty good team now.
It's a fantastic team now.
Like assuming Kyrie, like if all your pieces come back,
Kyrie, Flag, AD, that's a monster setup.
They're older, but they're good.
Yeah,
like that's that like eyeballs will go there. I don't know if Dallas is necessarily the biggest market team, but also keep in mind,
but the Spurs getting 2, that's also insane.
Spurs getting 2 is insane as well. But remember, there was a lot of Nico Dallas chatter moving the team to where? Where were they headed? Vegas. Right. So this just amplifies all of that. The Spurs having Wemby 3 years ago or 2 years ago, and now getting the 2nd overall, like it is.
The question is,
how does the NBA, coach, right?
How does the NBA fix this?
You stop with this lottery behind closed door nonsense.
I'm fine with the lottery, but give me some contingency.
But it can't be 15 teams. Like I'm not against the lottery, but
if you're a play-in team, no lottery.
Well, I think the lottery is reserved for like you could do like 5, the top 5, right? But everyone else is in order of finish, and those 5, like if you insist on doing it, then you weight it where the absolute worst team is at like 30%, and then the rest make up the rest, and that's it. Like but why do you have to do that at all? Like, has the NFL ever felt compelled to do a lottery system to decide, or any other league for that matter? You just draft in the order.
No, I mean you got the same thing. You got the same thing with Stern and getting Ewing to the Knicks. Like, there's just a lot of shadiness that happens with this lottery process.
It's happened time and time again.
Yeah.
My question is,
the thing is,
why do we need
lottery? But rigging it is just insane to me.
But do it. My only point. If we watched the whole thing and it happened, you would say you chalk it up. It's okay. But this idea that we did it behind closed doors 2 hours earlier, and then and Deloitte or PwC or whoever audited the findings. What are they auditing?
Then they released the footage.
Yeah, it's too much, and it's a huge problem. And again, if you just peruse like NBA at large on
nobody even wants to bother with regular season games.
It's full on despair in Wizards Reddit now. Like everything we've been building towards since basically the turn of the 2025 is the draft is coming. Cooper's the guy. Maybe Harper. Like we're gonna get a piece. We're gonna get closer. No. You're gonna go. Maybe if the team improves at the same rate that they were improving this year, you might win 25 games. Right? They're still extremely young with a like maybe you get to 25.
No, yeah, maybe.
No,
but the thing is, like 3 weeks ago, we're talking about if you get Flag, you can make a real put. You can shock the world.
35 games.
Yeah.
Even if you end up with the 2nd pick,
right?
30, right? Like
but that's all gone. Poof.
And keep in mind, Flag coming here, people will want to play with him.
Yes.
Like there's immediate draw. It's not like LeBron gravitational pull to Cleveland, where everybody wanted to go play with him.
But the young guys would want to come play with Flag. the next gen.
Or maybe a year into it, they say, you know, I don't mind going to DC.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't mind playing in DC.
The other thing is like, it makes no sense to me how DC isn't a valued franchise in the NBA anymore, because so much basketball talent comes out of the DMV. So much, from the AAUs to all the teams.
For sure.
So much basketball talent is bred here. Like, make the team good. You're only going to get that much more talent that comes out of the region. That's better for the league. Like, just, I don't understand it. And I don't know if, like, you can go even deeper, and it's like, did the stink of DC beyond the Wizards ruin its image to the NBA? And they're like, we want nothing to do with DC because of all the teams and all of the stink. Like,
I don't think so. I think the Commanders are riding high. They're still the number one team in the city, even during the off season, right? Someone's gonna get in our DMs and say, we can't believe you talked about the Commanders schedule third on the rundown after 30 minutes. I had to listen to Capitals and Wizards talk, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But the reality is, I don't know if that carries over. I think had it been the Wiz at 1 or 2, most of the country doesn't care.
yeah,
I think the way this sets up now, like, okay, like if you're the league, do you like that people think you're dirty and rotten and screwy? I don't know. Like, this idea of all PR is good PR, I've never bought into that adage. I've never bought into it. This is a bad look for the NBA.
Yeah. And they already had an uphill battle.
And it's a shame because the playoffs are overall
Entertaining.
not terrible.
Yeah.
Not terrible, right?
The matchups are good. The stars are playing. The storylines are intriguing.
Speaking of which,
the defense is there.
You cursed the Wizards with the number 6 pick. You also made a comment last week about Tatum and the Celtics. You cursed him.
I did not curse
him with the DC curse, and his leg exploded. Welcome to the Torn Achilles Club, Jason Tatum. This is your fault. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I hate Boston. I mean, it sucks that Tatum got hurt, but I'm okay with Boston, losing. Well, even though they're not losing now, they're doing what I hope the Capitals will do.
Rallying, yeah,
rallying in Game 5.
Yeah, the Tatum injury. Were you watching that game live?
Yeah, it sucks.
I mean, I was watching the game live.
You see it instantly.
My wife was sitting next to me. We were watching the game, and she was like, "Oh, can you rewind that?" I'm like, "No." She was like, "But I didn't see what happened." I was like, "I saw it." He was like, "Well, can you rewind?" I was like, "No, he tore his Achilles." And she was like, "Well, you can't just know that." I'm like, "No, I know that from experience. I know exactly what that looks like. I know exactly what it feels like to lie on the floor, spread eagle, not being able to move your. I've experienced it." And then she was like, "Well, I want to rewind." I was like, "I'm going to bed. Like, I'm not. I can't watch it. I can't watch it." I felt FP. Honestly, I felt terrible for him.
Yeah, I mean,
the last time a Celtics player was in a wheelchair, I wanted to punch him in the crotch. And that was Paul Pierce. This time around,
very iconic in the tunnel wheelchair moments
shots
mirrored with each other.
Yeah,
but
although your boy or Pete's boy, Paul Pierce, did it because he crapped himself. Did you know about this?
Yes.
Yeah. A little bit different.
But yeah. But I just you feel bad for Tatum because he is he did not miss games, right? He never took time off. He never had the fake injury.
He's an actual star in the league.
Yeah, and he constantly the back-to-back games and all of it. Like, he was just always on court, always performing, doing great things.
He's a good dude.
Yeah, and
he's also a champion.
Yeah,
he's also like all around a good teammate and a really good basketball player. I mean, if I remember the context of our conversation, we were saying like he should be closer to the face of the image. Like he is a marketable piece. He just doesn't have much of a personality off the court, but this is devastating for Boston. I mean, they still have pieces, and right now, yeah, they are winning pretty handily. They're up 21 right now. Like they're going to win this game.
If you're Jaylen Brown, how happy are you though?
I don't know if you're happy. He got paid.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you got paid. He barely showed up in the playoffs. They're down 3-1, and there's the star player goes out. So when you lose this playoffs, it's not on Jaylen Brown, but it should be. A lot of pressure should be on Jaylen Brown.
how much blame did Pippen take for the post Jordan Bulls not being very good, or I mean they still made it to the playoffs and whatever, but
yeah, I just he got kind of
I mean I like Jaylen Brown too. Like I don't have any issue with him.
I like him too, but
I love that he's like
he
disappeared.
and he has the perfect excuse. This year.
Remember when he was coming out of school? Remember what the knock on him was? He doesn't like he's bored with basketball.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He's a mathematician.
He's
like
an intellect.
Yeah, he's an academic. Exactly. Basketball is a hobby for him, right? It's very reminiscent of stuff that St. Moss used to say off the record. And he would say like, I actually don't like football, but I'm really good at it, right? So I keep doing it.
Right.
It's just one of these things. Okay, like maybe you don't want to say that out loud. maybe. But anyway, just on Tatum, like to do it this late in the season, he's likely going to miss the majority of the regular season next year, which may or may not matter. And if Boston ekes into the playoffs, then he should be available. It
would have been nice if a new star entered the Eastern Conference NBA draft. That would have helped you a little bit.
To be fair, it happened after they rigged for the Mavericks,
fair.
But I don't know if we have to be that fair. It's the NBA after all, but it sucks for him. But I mean, it
sucks for the NBA. I mean,
why is your boy Brunson crying on my TV? Why is he crying?
He got binged or something. I don't know.
And he's terrible. I can't watch him.
I mean, listen, the Knicks being good
is good.
Right? It's a good story.
But do you think Boston can get past them? I mean, this game maybe there's a little bit of an emotional high here, but do you think they can actually get past them?
No.
So
if you go back to New York, that's like Madison Square hyped up. That's got to be insane to play in.
I mean, they got 2 shots to win it at home. Like they're gonna.
That's got to be like,
yeah.
That might have to be the hardest, like home court advantage.
Yeah,
like
to overcome
in all sports. If you have a fully hyped up New York fan base in Madison Square, what's harder than that?
It might be up there, but I don't know how you rank it versus like a 12th man in Seattle, like during the peak of the Seahawks, or like how does it rank against? I mean, the Pepsi Center or Ball Arena in Denver.
Yeah,
like, that is a tough place to play.
Actually, OKC's pretty good.
Wild. OKC's wild, right? So I mean, MSG maybe has the
but it's New York fans.
Sure,
like that's what.
I mean, are they tougher than Philly fans? I don't know.
Yes, Philly fans are louder. New York's winning every fight.
Do you want to talk about this schedule a little bit? You want to talk about the league at large? You want to talk about the Cowboys having to watch the Eagles raise a banner and rings on?
I mean, I don't understand when the season release, the schedule release became like a thing. How did the NFL make it a thing? There's TV coverage and social media, and every team has to put out like their funny viral social media clip. Like, I don't know when this became a thing.
There's a couple awesome matchups overall. It looks like December 20th is shaping up to be a pretty ridiculous day for football. But I want to talk specifically about the opening Thursday night. Like, okay, the tradition is the Super Bowl host opens in their building and they raise the banner and get the rings and all that stuff. And I'm fine with that, right? And the Eagles deserve it. Congratulations to them. Why against the Cowboys? Right? Like,
better them than us.
Sure, but like if you're the league, wouldn't you want New York eyeballs in there? Maybe.
No, I mean Dallas is the biggest fan base in the NFL somehow, some way still. Yeah. The most delusional fan base, they're the biggest fan base. They are the ratings. I mean, especially early Cowboys games when they still have the belief in the Super Bowl. After the bye week, second half of the year, nobody wants
as an NFC East guy, like it's fine by me, right? But does the rest of the league want to see a very average Cowboys team against a what likely will be a reloaded and excellent Eagles team? I mean, it could be interesting, right? If the Cowboys somehow manage to win that's great for the East, the NFC East, right? To kind of throw things in a dizzy to begin the season. But yeah, I don't know. It was a little deflating. I didn't love that. I don't know. It just something didn't sit right with me. Like almost like Dallas doesn't deserve it. Like Dallas doesn't deserve the national stage after we've been starved for football for.
I mean, they deserve the embarrassment of watching the Eagles raise a banner.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I'm all for that.
That's fair. I mean, locally here, I'm assuming you've got thoughts on the Commanders' schedule. We got a lot of primetime games. A lot.
I mean, it's a different story with how this team, this ownership group, this coaching staff handles primetime games. So,
as fans, we are cursed, and we know about the primetime curse, and we don't like the primetime curse. And
do you not think we exercised it last year, though?
I feel like we did. But there's remnants, right? There's some mental things that stick with you. Like, there's sometimes we completely crap the bed, and we open against New York, right? I mean, we don't necessarily need to go through all of them, but I have it open here. You're New York at home in week 1. So all of your NFC East teams are playing each other right out of the gate. I kind of like that, to be honest. Week 2, though, is a very short turnaround because you're immediately on the road in Green Bay, week 2. Right. So you're playing Sunday, Thursday to start the season.
I'm good getting your Thursday night slate out early, though.
Poopy one out. Although I think they have 2 poopies. I think they've got. Are we not playing on Thanksgiving?
We are not. No, that's around our bye week.
Okay. So maybe I'm reading it wrong. Okay. So
that's because we have Spain before Thanksgiving. So we have a mini bye.
Which we need to talk about. DTC field trip to Madrid.
Very down.
And maybe sneaking in a La Liga game too. But, in New York on Sunday, Green Bay on Thursday, and then the following week, mini bye basically to start the season. And then you're home for the Raiders. Then they are to Atlanta, to LA.
That's hard.
Yes,
that's hard.
Tough.
Yeah,
that's tough. And then you've got primetime Monday Night Football against the Bears, where there's this fake rivalry. Yeah, it's fine, whatever. Monday night home against the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Then you are away to the Cowboys. Then you are away to the Chiefs again on Monday night. Then you are home on Sunday night. That's literally twice in a week.
Yeah.
Against Seattle, which whatever. Don't like it anytime they pop up on the schedule. Then we are where are we going after that? In week 11, Lions. We're home for the Lions, and then Madrid against the Dolphins. Bye on week 12. Then you've got Broncos on Sunday night. Then you've got Vikings. You've got the Cowboys, and then you close out basically against your NFC East rivals. The one thing that jumped out at me when I saw this earlier today, FP, is we don't see the Eagles until week 16, and then we see them again in 18 to close it out.
Yeah, I don't like the Eagles close together. Same thing as last year. I just don't like that.
I also don't always enjoy closing out the season facing just your NFC East opponents, especially if things shake out the way they did this year. You're potentially talking about playing your divisional rivals 3 times. Two times within the span of a month. If you both make it to the playoffs and end up facing each other again, that's a lot.
Yeah,
like the Eagles, there's a real scenario where they play the Eagles 3 times in 5 weeks.
Yes,
that's really hard to adjust for.
I mean, I think Andy also said it. There's a lot of teams that we face coming off of their buys.
Yes, he was much deeper into it. I'm just.
But I don't like the NFC East closeout. I don't like it because highly competitive and it's hard to kind of pull away. And do you get to, if you have momentum, can you keep momentum going into the playoffs, assuming this is a playoff team, right? Because it's hard to keep your momentum against a team that knows you so well and you know so well. But on the flip side, I mean, the Cowboys and the Giants are supposedly weak, right? So that could be two.
Yeah, this is tough. I mean,
depending on. I mean, ideally, you have like the 1 seed or the whatever locked up super early. But even then,
are you resting? I mean, unless you've like legit got the 1 locked up.
I don't know about resting, but I think playing it with no pressure might help.
Mm-hmm.
But if pressure gets added to that ending, it could be very ugly.
Is there any one game that you care more about than others? I mean, Madrid aside, because I think Madrid, like no one cares about that. I don't care about the Dolphins, but playing them in Madrid, that could be a really cool trip for someone to take. But is there anyone like we've seen the Chiefs a fair amount of times now over the last couple of years? The Bears, like I said,
Yeah, fake rivalry.
I think Atlanta a few times now, back-to-back years.
I think for me,
back-to-back. Actually,
that Detroit game is going to be very big because I feel like Detroit feels like they got robbed by us beating them in the playoffs.
Okay,
because they thought through and through it was their year, and then the stinker that we put up against the Eagles in the championship, every Lions fan is like, that wouldn't have happened to us, right? Yeah. So like they feel like they absolutely got robbed. So they're probably I'm thank God it's in DC and not Detroit.
Sure, that's fair too.
But they're probably going to show out, and there's going to be a lot of animosity, I think, revolving around that game.
My initial thought when I saw this, the one I locked in on was actually the Vikings game. It's much later in the year. It's before that homestand or that wrecking, that tough part of the schedule where you're playing the NFC East opponents over and over and over. But that's their last NFC opponent, and it likely will be a pivotal game, right? If you look at this, they
for rankings,
throw out all the AFC teams. They start, it's NFC, and a whole bunch of AFC teams. There's a couple NFC sprinkled in, but if you just look at the second half of the season, starting with the game you picked with the Dolphins, NFC, AFC, NFC, like it's all down the stretch. So they actually have some room to be less great to start the season, and still make up quite a bit of ground because they face likely playoff teams in Detroit in week 10, in the Vikings in week 14, and then again, Giants, Eagles, Cowboys to close out the season. Like I don't want them to struggle out of the gate.
Right.
They could and still be okay.
They can afford to. Yeah.
They can afford
I'm actually surprised that you're kind of skating over your second team in the matchup with Denver, and that being a primetime game.
It's an interesting one. I kind of wanted it to be in Denver. I mean, Denver
worked out nice for you around the holidays.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, this is for me. Like, I know people are going to pump up the Bears and 1 versus 2 and yada yada yada. I think 2 versus 4 is a much better matchup of draft picks.
It'll be in. Yeah, I think that'll be one of the truest tests in the season.
Yeah,
because that Denver team, I think you saw it. Like Sean Payton came in questionable at the start. Immediately, that team gets sharper, better, stronger, harder to play against. Very well coached team, and they've only gotten that much better on defense with everything they did on free agency. That's a good gauge.
Yes,
going into the difficult stretch of Vikings and then the NFC East to see just how does this team rank NFL wide.
I'm with you on that, and I'm excited to see how that plays out also, because I think the Broncos and the Commanders in some regard mirror each other right now, right? They have the quarterback, they have pieces,
the new ownership,
right? They have the ownership, they have the coach. The Skins have a lot more receivers, right? I think the Broncos maybe give them the edge in like running backs, but like for whatever reason, my mind always they mirror each other. And I would, could it be a Super Bowl preview? Probably not, right? But I think that's a great test for them. And like I said, they can afford to drop that as long as they beat up on their the 5 NFC East NFC opponents to end the season. So this will be it's not as terrifying of a schedule as what we were, I think, expecting coming out of last season. Like, this is still.
I don't know. You got 1.
They could win 10. They can win 10.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You got 9 playoff teams on your schedule.
But they can beat the Giants. They can beat the Packers. They can beat the Raiders. They have beaten the Falcons, and that's an interesting. Like, okay,
but it's like which Falcons team you're getting? Are you getting a Kirk Cousins Falcons team?
No,
Or
clearly
getting-
you're not. You're getting a Penix
I
one.
don't know. You know,
But,
you
like,
don't know.
Is there one game on this schedule that you look at? Like, if you had to pick one loss right now, I'd pick Detroit, and that's the only one.
As like an automatic loss.
One automatic loss right now, just knee-jerk reaction. The Lions are the only one, to me, that are actually better than the Commanders from a talent perspective and have a reason to beat us down. Every other game is winnable.
Yeah, except for the Eagles. Yeah,
Okay, but division
the
rival.
Eagles are toss-ups. Yeah,
Toss-up. But
yeah. I don't know.
the Lions are the only one.
Packers typically are really strong early
Then fade.
and then fade in the middle, strong at the end.
Yeah, I don't care about Kansas City. I don't care about Seattle.
Chargers are interesting,
Beatable. Very beatable.
beatable.
I'm saying if somebody gave you $2,000 and said bet a loser, one loser, which team are you picking?
Yeah, Lions.
It's the Lions.
Yeah.
It's the Lions. Right? And I don't think anybody would argue with me on that. Like, there's no way. It's the Lions. But
yeah,
you know, you said something about 10 minutes ago, right? Like, how did the NFL turn the schedule release into this event? I don't know, right? And what do I do with it now? Like, we looked at it. Are we supposed to pick winners and losers right now? What are we supposed to do now? Just keep waiting.
This is where you do your season prediction. But
I'm not ready for any of that.
last year showed how stupid season predictions are because nobody had.
Excuse me. One of us had 11 wins.
We were
One of us had 11 wins.
Somebody out of their butt chose 11 wins. Sure, but overall,
sure, it's
talking heads and everybody, you can't tell anything.
That's fair. I don't know if I have any other sports topics, FP. What else you got that you want to talk from a sports perspective?
Can we segue into OMC but talk about the Netflix documentary?
We can absolutely do that. But do you have any other
headlines? No.
Sports topics. All right. Then I'm going to hit the sounder and let's do it. Is this a classic or is this get to popcorn?
Popcorn.
This is the Off-Season Movie Club. Get your popcorn and enjoy.
All right, FP. We are reviewing 2007's Blades of Glory. Blades of Glory. This was an interesting one and admittedly very, very much FP in my blind spot, which I don't know if I'm embarrassed to admit that it was in my blind spot or that I just watched this movie this week because you made me do it. But overall, you know, it was an interesting one, and I'll give you my thoughts here in a second. But okay, let's start with reviews. Overall scores. Rotten Tomatoes has this from a fan's perspective at 70%. That is really high for a slapstick comedy, in my opinion. IMDb had it at 6.3, and most critics had it at, let me look, 64%. So somewhat clustered. Fans like it more than critics. No surprise there. We've got a cast that includes Will Ferrell in, like, this is prime Will Ferrell playing Chaz Michael Michaels. Yes, you heard that right. Got John Hader boy, playing Jimmy McElroy. Got Amy Poehler in this. You got Will Arnett in this. You got Jenna Fisher of Office fame, pre-Office fame in this. You got my guy William Finchner in this. I love him, even though he's in it for like 5 minutes. He's awesome in this. And then, of course, you got playing Coach, Craig T. Nelson, which, you know, I got that reference. I don't know how many people would just get that if you're watching it for the first time in 2025. And you got Nick Swartzen, you got Romani Malco. Like this is overall a pretty good cast for a movie.
Solid cast.
It's a solid cast. The film centers around Chaz Michael Michaels and Jimmy McElroy, these two titans of skating that are at the Winter Olympics, and they're fierce rivals. They find themselves sharing a winner's podium after a tie, which is sort of believable. And they when they both score gold, they shower. The shower of glory doesn't last for long as the pair descend into fisticuffs and set the mascot on fire. Disgraced and stripped of their medals, the only way back on the ice is if they dance with each other as a pair. So, This was an interesting movie. I have to be honest. There were times where I was laughing with my teeth out. It wasn't often, but I was legit laughing. Like it's slapsticky. It's very sticky.
I
Maybe
enjoyed it.
Just the mood. I think I enjoyed it too. Like I don't know if I'll ever revisit it. Right. And at some point we defined like our sliding scale of, what do we do with movies that we won't revisit again? But I did finish it in one sitting, which I declared last week. If it takes me more than one sitting to finish a movie, it's capped at a 3. Period. Like you can't, if it's not that good, I can't. So I did get through this in one. I appreciate that it wasn't super long. And the white, like the not the white, I was gonna say the White Lotus, not the White Lotus. The what's it called? The what's the crazy move called at the end of the thing?
Oh, the Iron Lotus.
Iron Lotus or whatever. Right? Like, I actually found myself hearing that they landed. Like I don't know what came over me. Like,
the funny thing with the movie, you remove all of the slapstick comedy out of it, you basically have the bones of like a really good sport movie. Right, like
no,
the plot.
Being generous. You're being
the
generous.
Plot, no, but I'm saying like the plot is there where you find yourself rooting the same way you do in a lot of sports movies.
Yes,
like Amy Poehler and what's his face, like they're so annoyingly annoying. As
Will
like,
Arnett is so
Will
good.
Arnett, so good.
I think they were married at the time of this movie. I think they were.
Were they?
I don't know. I think so. I didn't have time to actually go confirm.
That makes it even funnier that they played brother and sister that had like a.
Yes, but John Hader for me, like he's coming off Napoleon Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of this one face. He's like the Kirsten Dunst of male actors. Like he's got one kind of look, one face, one
right.
Like the mouth breather kind of look. He's a really good compliment.
He is
to Will Ferrell in this. Like Chaz is like over the top, and he's won. What was he? He won a Athlete of the Year and a porno award or whatever it was. He's got
Maxim Athlete of the Year,
whatever it was. Like it was just there was some of that stuff that popped out, or when they were picking their duet, their song to dance to, and he starts singing my hump or the Black Eyed Peas and
the Jay-Z Kanye pull.
There's a crazy line in there where is it John Hader? I think it's Hader's character asking like, what does that even mean?
Yeah,
right. And
nobody knows what it means.
It's just provocative, right? And it's delivered so perfectly. Like there's Zoolander flares in there. I love Zoolander. So I actually really enjoyed it. I don't know if I would recommend it to anybody, but if you're a Will Ferrell mark, this is up there, I think, with Anchorman and Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
Maybe as a slightly lesser of those. But
I feel like depending on what sport you kind of would lean into more, I feel like there's a lot of people that could probably appreciate this more than Talladega. Talladega definitely has more iconic scenes, but it's like the same level of insanity, stupid slapstick as Talladega. Anchorman is a little bit in a world of its own.
Well, yeah, Anchorman has more character firepower. Like you got some heavyweights,
and it's a way more quotable movie.
Yes, although I think the Ballad of Ricky Bobby, to be fair, is really good in its own right.
Yeah,
right. The praying to baby Jesus because that's his favorite version of baby Jesus. Like every one of these has its own like maybe in that vein. FP. Blades of Glory doesn't have that one quotable thing outside of that what we just talked about.
But that's because of Jay-Z and Kanye.
Right. So it just works. I don't know what else to say about it. Right. And again, I'm a huge William Fincher fan. Like
yeah.
He's in Prison Break. He's done a bunch of stuff.
He's hilarious in the start of that.
He's great. Like he wants to adopt the kid. He's scouting him.
Winners.
Yeah. He adopts winners and he just, like, obviously it's terrible, but like he's like, I'm unadopting you, and just leaves him on the side of the road. Like you got a chuckle out of me.
It's just the pull of Coach being Coach.
Coach being Coach.
Coach is such a solid TV show, by the way.
It's been a long.
I don't know. It's on Prime. I don't know when you visited it last, but it's a solid show. But yeah, it's just the whole. Yeah, you just sit there and you enjoy it. Like you don't. It's so stupid, but it's not stupid to the point where you're like, "What the hell am I watching?" It's stupid in the point where like,
yes,
okay, this is a good escape. Let me sit here. Let me laugh. Let me enjoy it. And then when the movie's over, you're like, all right, that wasn't a complete waste of my time.
yes.
Moving on.
It's more than a backdrop to like doom scrolling, but less than like a popcorn and focus. Like it's somewhere in the middle there.
Yeah.
And for what it is, yeah, I enjoyed it. Like I mean, I'm not. It's not my favorite movie of all time. I don't know if I would highly recommend it to anybody, but for about 2 hours, I got a couple chuckles. You know, I was able to relax a little bit. And again, Hader and Farrell are really good together. I would argue it's actually maybe the most I've seen him have like actual on-screen like chemistry with another actor.
Back and forth, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the one of my favorite lines is mind bottling. And seeing Hader be like, "Did you just say mind bottling?" Like it's a funny line, and it's like it's a good feed off each other.
Yes. Well, it was your pick, so I feel like you should rate it first. What are you putting on this one?
I think I would give this a solid 3. I don't know if I would sit and watch it if I was channel surfing. I might be delayed on my next page button. Yeah, like see what joke is about to come up, laugh at it, and then go. Like,
so I'm struggling to be honest with this one too because in my heart I want to give it a 3. In like my brain is telling me this is a 2.5 but I think it's a 3. I think there's enough positive and good and over like even Pam is good in this. Like everybody's good in this. There isn't one thing that I would necessarily change. And again, the penultimate scene where he destroys his ankle on the ice and he can't do it, and we're gonna reverse the Iron Lotus, and yeah, like I was thoroughly. I enjoyed it.
It draws you in, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you even have like the funny 80s montage, like learning how to do everything together with the gay backup dancers. Like it's just a funny it's like a funny movie all in all.
I think I'm gonna stay at a 3. I think that's a fair for what this is, it's a 3. It's not offensive, it's not the best, but it belongs in the conversation whenever we're doing, Will Ferrell movies. It belongs in. It's
definitely not the worst Will Ferrell comedy that he's made.
No, Step Brothers is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Really, you don't like Step Brothers?
No, I'm not a fan of Step Brothers. This to me, I mean, if Elf is one end of the spectrum and Step Brothers is the other, this is in the middle. Yeah, that's kind of where it is.
I'll give that to you.
And again, it's in the Will Ferrell like. This is his zone. This is his zone. Over the top, over dramatic.
That prime MTV Films 2000s nostalgia.
Yeah, this could be like this. I did read one thing that made me really chuckle. This could be the backstory for him in Wedding Crashers. Right? It does my exact reaction, right? Like he had the fame and he knows how, like he knows how to like
pick up
suave and smooth and pick up chicks. And he starts as Chaz Michaels, the athlete, and ends up as whatever his name is in Wedding Crashers.
I like that.
Like it's like a prolonged extension of one character between two flicks, right? Like I think that alone makes it a 3 for me. Like
that's a fantastic connection there.
Yeah. So I'm good with it. It's a 3, and we've officially kicked off now May
comedy month.
Did you get into Black Bag per my recommendation?
I actually watched it. Yes.
What did you think of Black Bag?
At the very start of it,
were you surprised?
At the very start of it, I was like, "What the hell is Joe making me watch again?" But I love Fassbender. He's a fantastic actor.
Yes.
I like the movie in that it was plot driven, not action driven.
Yes, this is a good movie.
Yeah, like it's not like a super make you think movie. You just watch and see it unfold.
Yes,
and it's all plot without too much backstory.
It's a very fast 94 minutes. Very.
That's all. Yeah, like when you said it was like a 90-minute, 94-minute movie, I was kind of surprised because I was like, this is the whole like halfway through, I was like, this is the whole movie. Like the whole movie is just watching these 5 characters,
yes,
and how they're intertwined.
Stylish, sexy, smart. I mean, it's again, this is Andy's wheelhouse. I know
It's a good movie.
He's got stuff going on, but like this is the spy thrill. This is comfortably in his wheelhouse. And what shocked me is this movie came out in March.
Yeah,
this is a new release movie that just, whether it was timing or for whatever reason, it just didn't stick. But Rotten Tomatoes fan reaction to this movie, FP, 96%.
That's huge. This was a straight to Peacock exclusive or whatever?
No, this went to movie theaters. I can pull up the box office.
Way.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Nobody saw it in theaters. Nobody knew it was out. Nobody knew this existed.
So there was no marketing for it.
There was apparently not, but and some of it may be due to the name. The name is not very good, but the critics have this at 85%. Like this is
I thought this was like a Peacock exclusive made for Peacock.
No.
Wow.
This movie
That's
cost
impressive.
This movie cost between I'm looking it up right now. It said below 50, let's say it said between 55 and 60 million, but only grossed 39.4. It was a loser at the box office.
Yeah, that's like Snow White numbers.
But it's really good.
It is a really good movie.
Like I'm glad. I mean, okay, so what are you rating this one? Give me a small black bag.
I'm between like a high, like a strong high 3.5.
3.5. Oh, man, I think that's a little low, to be honest. I think this is a 4.
Like if there was any more decimal points I could use, like 3.75.
Sure.
Like, I need it captivated me, but I needed.
But this has Kay Alexander, Kate Blanchett, Fassbender,
right?
What's her face? Marissa Abella. Pierce Brosnan's in this. Does a great job. Does a great job. It's a shame that more people haven't seen it. Maybe somebody picks it up.
It's like listening to a really good song, but it doesn't have like that drop or that hook or like that just like mouth dropping awe moment.
Sure, and that's fair. And
I think that was the only like 95 minutes, really good. If you gave me 10 minutes of fast-paced craziness, something, I'm bumping it up.
That's fair. I can get on board with that. Can we keep the OMC rolling here? Because it looks like we actually watched a bunch of stuff. We watched Blades of Glory, watched Black Bag, and then I 100% crushed the Wizards documentary.
Yeah,
Shooting Guards. Did you see this?
I did.
What do you think? What's your thought on this one?
It made me nostalgic for that era of Wizards basketball when they were hyping up Arenas and his arrival. And just kind of you forget that you were like back to back playoff team. Mm-hmm. And kind of seeing.
I mean, this wasn't early Arenas. This was like almost end Arenas.
Yeah, but like seeing what could have been if they just were able. If Ernie wasn't there and they could just keep the team going, it was so close to being like such a great team. But from the actual story of the Shooting Guards, Gilbert's kind of a dick.
That was my feeling, actually, as from the moment it started. And he was being maybe like 20 minutes in, maybe 20
after like the kid part of it, like where they show him as a kid,
where they talk about his potential draft position and draft status. And
I'm going to be a pimp.
I'm going to be a pimp, and then he doubles down and be an international pimp. And then, what do you mean Richard Jefferson just got drafted before me? Like,
right?
Maybe I knew it and I forgot it. I don't know, but like all of that coming together to explain kind of his origin story and like why he fell so far. I mean, he was a star. He was. And it shows you how important media training is, and the goofiness, like he never got rid of it. And it cost him even more in the end, and Javaris Crittenton, because, there was a piece I felt that was missing though. Like, okay, so Javaris ends up on the Lakers, and then 2 minutes later, like, he's a Crip. How's that happen?
Oh, it's because he was saying he had
no
male figures growing up, and he's alone in LA.
But then isn't there a piece missing? Like you would go to the local gym and these are the people that were there. Like there's no like how do you go from I'm a professional basketball player and I need like companionship to a tattoo on your belly that you're
Yeah, well, they were saying like his cousin or whatever in Atlanta knows another cousin that's in the Crips, and that's the connection, and that's the family that he's looking for, right? Like,
yeah,
word of mouth family, essentially. It just so happened that guy was a Crip.
All of that happens FP in the span of like 3 months.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with Crittenton, right? Like, you watch his origin story and kind of up until he gets to the Lakers, and you're like, this guy, like, it's crazy to say getting drafted to the Lakers was the worst thing that could have happened for him. Sure. But that's exactly what happened. Because if he went to any other team, or if he at least stayed on the East Coast, or if Atlanta ended up taking him, he could have a completely different career trajectory. And it's like, you almost want to be on his side and like root for him as you're watching the documentary, but at the same time,
too many bad decisions.
Too many bad decisions. And it's like, okay, like even if Gilbert is messing with you and escalating it and all of that stuff, like you're both NBA players. You're not actually you don't actually have to show up strapped and protect yourself, right? Like you need to.
That team had veterans on it. What was Antoine Jameson doing?
Yeah,
right? Like, there was other like legit players and stars on that team apparently doing nothing, right? I mean, they weren't interviewed, they weren't featured, they weren't discussed, right? The four people interviewed from the Wiz side were Nick Young,
right?
Terrible, and goofball, and the Gilbert Arenas rubbed off on him, and he ended up ironically going to the Lakers and destroying his career. Right, he was one way with the Wizards, and then a whole other way when he made it to the Lakers. And then Andre Blatch, who was an 18-year-old kid drafted to the Wizards, who I didn't realize this, he only retired from basketball last season. He played until he was 38 in the Philippines. Yeah, good for him. And he was playing against.
He did not have a body that made me think he was still playing basketball.
No, he retired 1 year ago from basketball. And then obviously Gilbert and Javaris, and even like. There was a little bit of remorse in Gilbert towards the end of the thing, and just a little bit of redemption that him.
A little past the buck, but some remorse, yeah.
There's a little bit, but you know, not even 3 weeks ago, Gilbert's son was in a terrible car accident, right? And I remember thinking like, this is terrible because the kid he's on his dad's trajectory. Like this could be a star, could be an NBA player,
and just dumb decisions.
Yeah, and he lost control of his Cybertruck. He hit a tree, right? Like it wasn't. Doesn't seem like anything like nefarious happened. It just seems like a car accident that went bad. But yeah, like I came away with this thinking, like, where were the coaches? Where was Antoine Jameson and the other veterans there was more than 4 players on the team. Where were they?
Where were they on the airplane that started everything with the poker game and money?
Which white guys were not willing to tell the Arenas and company to knock it off?
Right.
There was nobody that had a problem with Gilbert to check.
And the fact that it was what's his face, JaVale McGee or whatever, like he's the start of all of it, right? It was him bitching about the money and paying him back. And
he wasn't even featured in the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and JaVale, who barely can speak, write, talk, walk, whatever, ends up winning 2 championships, and I think might still be in the league. Like it is wild, man. Like to think I'm actually pulling up the roster from the Wizards in 2009. Just I want to see it, right? I mean, it's let's see. The Wayback. I gotta use. When was the last time you looked at the Wayback Machine, FP? Wow, this is something.
But hey, full circle, that entire situation brings you conspiracy theory NBA draft.
Listen to this. Listen to the names on this roster that did nothing. Gilbert Arenas, Andre Blatch. Okay, obviously Javaris Crittenton, Earl Boykins, stand-up dude. Randy Foye, stand-up dude. Josh Howard, baller in his own right. Sean Livingston, baller in his own right. Mike Miller, Quentin Ross, Al Thornton,
right,
was on this team, and Nick Young. Nobody was going to check Gilbert. Head coach Flip Saunders.
They all just were like, Gilbert's Gilbert. He's gonna joke. And that was that.
And nobody's willing to say, knock it off.
But the thing is, like, Gilbert hit on it, right? Like,
even
nobody
the year before. Hold on, sorry. Even the year before, Juan Dixon, Antonio Daniels, Karan Butler, Antoine Jameson. These are real players. Deshaun Stevenson. I forgot who was. It's on Thomas. These are real guys. Like these are.
The truth was Gilbert was the guy in all of the DMV. Think about the other teams. Ovi was what, 4 seasons into hockey, so he wasn't Ovi yet, right? The Nationals were nothing.
And honestly,
the Redskins,
the Wizards were ascending. The Wizards were ascending.
Yeah, what era of Redskins was that? Was that Jim Zorn? Was that Gibbs to Jim Zorn?
Zorn was 6'7", I think.
Was he
6'07"? Yeah, I can look it up. Let's see.
Yeah, what era of Redskins are we talking about? Where you?
Zoe Alexander, Sean Alexander. You got Brandon Archer.
Completely forgettable era of Redskins.
Colt Brennan, Liddell Betts, Rock Cartwright, Devin Clark.
Who's the coach?
I'm looking for it. Let's see. Coach. I should know this.
No, it was Zorn. 0809. That was the Jim Zorn era.
Yeah, Coach Jim Zorn. Where is he now?
Oh, who cares? Basket weaving.
I don't know.
But I mean, when you have all of that around DC, yeah, Gilbert was the star through and through. He had his shoes. He had Agent Zero. He was by all means like mega superpower, superstar.
Sure.
Like ESPN headline
mega,
worthy.
not MAGA.
Mega, yes.
Yeah.
ME. Okay. So why would anybody check him?
It's wild to me. Like I couldn't escape that thought in my mind that there was other professionals on this team that had an opportunity to step in to keep it from turning into what it turned into, and they didn't do it. Right. And
man, what a terrible era in DC sports.
Yeah, the curse. It wasn't even on the field nonsense. This is more off the field stuff. R.I.P. Sean Taylor, off the field stuff, right? Like, yeah. Oh God, this is depressing. It was good though, and I'm gonna watch the Liver King one this week. And I got a movie for you. I actually have 2 movies.
We're sticking comedy.
It's still comedy month. Okay, I'm breaking some of the rules here. I'm gonna give you a choice.
Okay. We need to pick a 4+ movie.
The original Hangover.
Okay.
Revisit, deep dive, and discuss. Or dark comedy Cable Guy. I'm good with either. I could do both. You pick.
I'm going to say Cable Guy because it's less fresh in my mind. So I'll be more inclined to sit and watch it.
Let's do it.
But at the same time, I can also probably have the Hangover on.
Let's do both.
Background while I work.
Perfect.
So in case that Cable Guy conversation ends quickly, we could pivot. But yeah,
I'm gonna watch both this week, and I will be ready to discuss both next week. And we'll get Andy.
Where's Cable Guy streaming?
I have to check. If it's paid, I will ship you some chips. That's the arrangement. I think you're gonna enjoy it.
It's on. Yeah, I don't think you can. Might be Prime rental. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, I owe you a soda pop. We'll get it done. Hangover, I believe, is streaming on HBO.
Honestly, I could go Hangover right now.
I mean, I could literally say I movie right now. I've got character actors. I've got backstories on everybody. I could go a mile deep on that movie right now. So
yeah.
But I agree with you. We need some bangers. So
yeah, we got to get we need to start using the classic sound
both
bites.
of those are classics. I'm gonna hit the sounder twice next week for both of those.
I like it.
Cable Guy and the OG Hangover. Although we could switch it up. We could go Hangover 2 or 3 if you want something less fresh.
I mean, I feel like I just recently did. We recently talked about all 3 and did a binge. I feel like late last year.
I want to change it. Let's do 3.
3?
Yeah.
Right.
Which one is 2?
2 is Philippines.
2 is
right.
Philippines. Hold on, I gotta look it up. Then which one's 3? One of them was not as good.
It's got to be 3.
Hangover 3. Yeah, no. I don't want Hangover 3. Hangover 2. Let's do Philippines.
Which one is 3?
Bangkok. That's the one where John Goodman's character comes into the picture.
Yeah.
No, let's do Hangover 2. Bangkok's got him now. Yeah, let's do 2. Let's do 2.
I'm down.
That's a good one. Okay. Hangover 2 and Cable Guy for next week. Any final closing thoughts, FP?
Now is the time that we get to reverse our 3-1.
Reverse the curse.
Up 3-1. We get to change it and we get to push this to game 7. I don't know.
God bless you.
I'm hopeful.
I hope for your sake and for Andy's that they reverse the curse. We should make shirts or something. We should actually make reverse the curse is pretty good.
Reverse the curse is pretty good.
All right, let's workshop that a bit.
Also,
I got nothing to add. This has been a great show. Thank you for making time, FP. Always appreciate it. The show is DTC Defeating the Curse, available wherever you get your podcasts. We are doing our best to stick to once a week as we move through summer sadness here and we get back to football. We got some travel coming up, so we may put a couple shows in the can and then just push them out. So we're going to do our best to stay relevant. OMC will continue throughout the summer. I'm hoping we'll get to do an in-person Eat My Cookie bit, or one person suggested, a fan of the show named Danny, we do a Taste My Chicken where we all come with our personal favorite.
So many other ways to name the bit. Taste My Chicken.
I like Taste My Chicken. Eat my wing. So we'll figure it out. DTC Defeating the Curse, wherever you get your podcasts. You can find us on social media as well. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. For FP, my name is Joe. We are done. We'll see you next week.